In this lesson, we're going to learn how to classify polynomials. Polynomial means many terms, and polynomials can include variables, constants, and variables with exponents. The exponents have to be whole numbers. Whole numbers are the ones that start with a 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They do not include negatives. They do not include decimals. So here are some examples of polynomials. 5x, for instance, is a polynomial. I can also write 7x to the power of 3 minus 2x to the power of 2 plus 11. This is another polynomial. This one has 3 terms. Now, polynomials can be classified by the number of terms or also by their degree. The degree is determined by looking at the largest exponent of the variable. That is when we are working with polynomials with only one variable, which those are the ones that we are going to be working with in this class. They will only have one variable, so whenever we want to determine the degree, we will take a look at the term with the largest exponent, and that will be the degree. For instance, if I were to have negative 5 plus 7x to the power of 4 plus 12 x to the power of 7, the degree of this polynomial is going to be 7. Why? Because if I take a look at all the terms, at all 3 terms, and I look at the exponent with the largest variable, this is it. So then that means the degree is 7. Here is a table that shows you how you can name the polynomials. First, we're going to go over the degree. When the degree is 0, then that means that you have a constant. So, like the number 7, number 8, 9, 10, any number, that is a constant. When the degree is 1, that means that you have a linear equation, like x plus 8. When the degree is 2, then you have a quadratic, and there is an example. You have worked in the past with quadratics, with linears, and with constants. The next one will be the cubic, and that is when the degree is 3. Then we have the quartic, when the degree is 4, and the quintic, when the degree is 5. Now, if we take a look at how to classify the polynomials by the number of terms, when there is only one term, it is a monomial. When there is 2 terms, it is a binomial. Like this one will be a linear binomial. This one will be a constant monomial. This one is a quadratic trinomial. Think of it as the first and last name. The first name will be based on the degree. The last name is going to be based on the number of terms. So quadratic trinomial. This one will be cubic polynomial with 4 terms. If you have a polynomial with 4 terms or more, you won't use any specific name. You will just say polynomial with and then the number of terms. This one will be a quartic binomial because it only has 2 terms. And this one will be quintic trinomial because it has 3 terms. So let's go ahead and practice. We're going to rewrite each polynomial in standard form. We're going to identify the leading coefficient, the degree, and the number of terms. And then we're going to name the polynomial. First, to write a polynomial in standard form, what that means is that you will write the terms in descending order. For instance, on this one, the term with the highest exponent is this one. So that will be the first term that I'm going to write. So it's going to be negative 2. Let me use a different color. So it will be negative 2x squared. Then the next term is going to be 4x. And then the constant 2. If you notice, it is in descending order. This one has an exponent of 2, this one has an exponent of 1, and of course this one doesn't have a variable. So the exponent basically is 0. Then we're being asked to identify the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient is the coefficient of the first term when it is written in standard form. So now that I have written the polynomial in standard form, I can determine what the leading coefficient is, and the leading coefficient is negative 2. We have to determine the degree. Well, I'm just going to take a look at the first term now that it is written in standard form. So the degree is 2. The number of terms, well, it has 3 terms. And then we're going to name the polynomial. Well, it is degree 2, so since it is degree 2, that means that it is a quadratic, and it has 3 terms, so that means that it is trinomial. So this one is a quadratic trinomial. So let's continue with this one. It has 3 terms. I'm going to take a look at the term with the highest degree, and this is the one. So that's the first term. It's going to be negative 5x squared plus 4x plus 3. So this is written already in its standard form. To find the leading coefficient, I take a look at the first term after it's been written in standard form, and that's what's going to be the coefficient, negative 5. The degree, it's going to be 2, again, just by looking at the first term. Number of terms, 3, just like on the other one. And then I'm going to name it. Well, it's going to be just like the previous one. It is a quadratic trinomial. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one has 1, 2, 3, it has 4 terms. This is a term with the highest degree, so that's the first one, x to the power of 3. Then I will have negative 18x squared. Then I'm going to have 2x. And then minus 5. So the leading coefficient is going to be 1, because that is the coefficient that I have here. The degree is going to be 3. Number of terms, 4. And to name it is going to be cubic polynomial with 4 terms. Okay, let's take a look at the last example. First, again, I'm going to write it in standard form. This is the one that has the highest exponent, so 8x to the power of 4 plus 3x squared minus 4. Leading coefficient is 8. The degree is 4, because that's the exponent I have here. Number of terms, 3. So to name this, if you go back to the and look at the table, it will be quartic, because the degree is 4. So quartic trinomial.